Greetings to you folks. Welcome here. Let's go over some of the news that has just come out within the last few hours. As I had said in the last video, I said, folks, don't get too excited here because it's not inked. And what I meant by that is it's not formally signed and agreed upon. And that won't happen until Sunday. So I said, we're just going to have to just take our time, and wait and see what the final outcome is. Well, sure enough, there's some wrenches being thrown into the works here. And I'm going to show you that. I'm going to skip read part of it, but you'll see the articles complete. You're able to look them up yourself, and that was on the time of Israel. Let me get over here to my little trusty visualizer thingamajiggy. And cabinet meeting on hostage deal delayed. Final details from Qatar, however you want to say it. His prime minister waits to hear from Smotrich whether he'll resign or not. That's one. So it's not drawn to a conclusion yet within Israel. And let's see, here we go. This is the other one that I want you to be aware of too, because this is really quite serious. Religious Zionism Knesset member, the party Zionism, and that's a group of people within the Knesset. That party will likely resign from government if hostage deal goes through. Okay, so it's in all likelihood will resign from the government. Folks, that's approximately equivalent to saying that a third of the senators here in the United States walked off the job and said, I quit. It's serious business because that means another election will have to be called. And that means the government basically, it runs on emergency mode until the new members are sworn in. Okay, let me go on with this one last piece here that I think you should know about. And again, and there it is. You can see that right here. That's the heading to it, if you want to look that up. Okay, the last one here, and this is important too, and I'm sure there's going to be blaming each other for the next couple of days back and forth, but Prime Minister office claims Hamas creating last-minute crisis and backing out of some of the agreements, delaying cabinet vote. Now remember, it's supposed to be on Sunday, and it's not completely done yet. And this, let's see, again, you'll find at time of Israel, that's the caption, claims Hamas has backed out of some of the agreements, creating a last-minute crisis and finalizing the hostage deal. Okay, the news, that's it for right now in regards to the hostage for prisoner swap. This is a bum deal for Israel, no matter how you look at it. So I'm trying to figure the reason for it. The only reason I can see is because Netanyahu is waiting until Trump is actually in power. Because what Netanyahu wants to do, he can't do because he's basically handcuffed by the Biden administration. One of those would be to combine forces, America, Israel, and bomb the living tar out of any nuclear ambitions that Iran might have. The other one is take the handcuffs off and let Israel do what they want in the Gaza Strip. And I mentioned there's several things that they can do. Let's try to remember how I think that Trump would be looking at this, and that is it's a war situation. A war situation all goes. A war is meant to kill people and to break things. It doesn't have like a specific someone. It takes over a territory. The Gaza Strip, for all practical purposes, was a war, and Israel won, but they have to act like they're going to have to give it back to the ones that aren't warring, which are the people, the Palestinians, the civilians. But everyone knows that if Israel backs out, the very war machine, Hamas, will rebuild. So it's in a very precarious way for Israel. Israel just needs to go in there and literally wipe out Hamas's ability to war and then go from there. Trump may allow him to do that. And that's what I'm saying. This could be a delay up until Sunday. Basically, Biden's power is going to be over with. Well, it will be. All right, so now back to understanding Scripture and what God said. Let's get this in general. God said there's a time coming to where I am going to free Israel of its surrounding enemies. That way it can build a temple and it can start sacrificing. And that would be the start of the tribulation. The church is not needed for that last 7 years. We know that. We understand that. Do you remember in some of my other videos what I said was, and that's this. I was surprised that Israel went to war with Hamas. And I says, when they did, they're surrounded by enemies. That would be the time that God would step in. And that I said that for years. And then all of a sudden, here starts this war, and God doesn't step in. I said, here's what I said. I said, I'm surprised. I had thought that would have been the key right then to let us know that it's timing for God's timing that he steps in. But he didn't. And this war went on for, a year and 3 months now. And I'm going, this is so very, very curious. And then I went back to, let's understand what Paul said when they said peace and safety. And I said, well, if Israel's winning, okay, then finally the hostage deal comes up. And I said, okay, well, now if they say peace and safety, we're right in line with Paul, 1 Thessalonians 5:3. When they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction, which would be the action of God. And I said, that's the timing that we should be looking for when they're going to say that peace and safety. Some people say, well, who's going to be saying the peace and safety? To me, it's obvious, the Israeli people. But I guess it could mean surrounding other people too. I mean, it's not like they can't say it. So the peace and safety, because the war is over, relief, finally. Whew, man, here it comes. Israel's going to be secure. Well, it's going to feel safe. They're going to be at peace. And then that's when God steps in. Well, guess what? I said Israel's winning. No, they're not. Not if this hostage deal goes through. This is a horrible deal. Horrible deal. It's basically saying, Israel, you've given up all rights, and it's going to take a huge act to be able to go back to war again with Hamas. They're basically backing out. What they would have to do to go back to war again would be huge. So let's just keep thinking this through. This whole hostage deal is not inked. It's not done yet. But people are at a position right now to where they're hoping. And what did Paul say? When they say peace and safety, not when they have it. I still think it's possible we are on track for an action of God to take place. Psalms 83. I still believe that. But it can be a little while while all this is being sorted out. So we needed that time, my last video. Give it some time and let's watch it unfold. And yes, I am totally agreeing with everybody. This is a horrible deal for Israel. And I know they know that too. So I have to keep thinking in the back of my mind, Netanyahu with Trump have something else planned in mind, and they can't do anything until Monday. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. I'll get back to you again. Something else happens, I'll keep reporting as I said I would. If something pops up, I'll definitely make another video. Okay, hopefully this was helpful for now. Let's move on. I'm available, so I can make a video anytime. Until then.